Hello, wonderful people. Welcome to High Healing Room. And today I'm talking about the topic that says your softness is not a flaw. You're welcome back. My name is Femi. Have you spent your whole life hearing that you're too sensitive? That your heart is a problem in this very tough world? Have people told you that you should toughen up? Grow thicker skin, you're too sensitive, and stop taking things too personally. I don't know about you, but I have. Well, what if everything you've been taught is wrong? What if the world has just gotten so loud, so focused on being hard, that it has forgotten what real strength really looks like? What if that your so-called softness isn't a flaw? What if that your so-called softness is not a flaw that you need to get rid of, but is the deepest and most resilient power that you ever have? See, for too long, a lot of us, we've been made to feel like you should apologize for your gentleness. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. It is who you are. That's your empathy. That's your ability to feel things deeply. And that's your quiet, compassionate nature are weaknesses that you have to hide. They've told you all of that. So because they've told you that, you built a wall, right? But after building that wall, you realize that that wall is heavy. And holding up that wall is exhausting. Today, we are not building that wall any higher. No. Today, what we are going to do is that we are going to walk. We are going to start walking to take that wall down, brick by brick, step by step. We are actually going to explore how your softness isn't just a strength, but how it is the most important tool that you have on your healing journey. See, let's just be honest. The world usually celebrates the loudest people in the room. A lot of times you felt, I'm too quiet. Maybe they don't like me, right? The world would usually celebrate the loudest person in the room, the one who seems unbreakable. But like me, from a young age, many of us got the message that to be safe, successful, or respected, we have to be hard. But I'm here to burst your bubble. It is a lie. A lot of us, we've learned to swallow our tears, ignore our gut feeling, right? And put everyone else's comfort before our own emotional truth. That is so wrong. But this is especially true if you identify as a sensitive person, as someone who may have been told that your reactions are too much for others. So we were handed a suit of armor. Protect yourself. And we are told that that armor will protect us. So we put it on, right? We put on that armor of hardness, armor of I can protect myself, armor of I don't want to cry. Nobody must see my strength. To be successful, I have to be hardened. We've put that thing on and thinking that it will protect us. We put it on piece by heavy piece, and it is so heavy. We wore that helmet to cover our face and hide our expression. We put on that breastplate to shield our tender hearts. We put on the gauntlets to stop our hands from reaching out with too much care. And maybe it worked for a while. Maybe it felt like it worked. We moved through the world with a numb heart. We're a little bit numb. We're a little bit disconnected from the world, but we felt it was safe. But I want to ask you, so because of the things that people have done to you, I'm talking from experience as well. Because of the things that people have done to us, we protected our heart. We decided not to be authentic to who we have always been. Because you went through that hurt, you decided not to be vulnerable anymore. You became a little bit numb. You became a little bit more disconnected from the world because you felt it was safe. But what's the real cost? Sis, what's the real cost of wearing all of these armors every single day? The real cost is that it is chipping away who you really are. It is taking away who your true self. And it will give you that deep in your bone exhaustion that you begin to burn out because you are functioning from a place that lacks authenticity. Then you begin to burn out. The kind of burnout that comes not from doing too much, but from pretending to be someone you are not. You burn out because you pretend to be something else. It's also that quiet ache of loneliness. Even when you are in a crowd, you are lonely. You know why you are lonely when you're in a crowd? You are lonely in a crowd because no one is seeing the real you inside. You have not given people the opportunity to see the real you. So when we constantly perform to have strength, when we constantly perform like we have strength in environments that don't support our true nature, our true nature, what happens is we can end up feeling very isolated. We can end up feeling very disconnected. And then you're at a high risk of burning out because you are performing. You're at a high risk of anxiety because you are willing to be accepted. You are wanting to be accepted. And because you are wanting to be accepted, you are performing. You are not showing up authentically. You're not showing the real you. So therefore, you keep on performing. And there is a level to which you can perform. You begin to burn out because that is not the real you. But when you show up as the real you, guess what happens? Just guess. You are comfortable in your own skin. I'm telling you, when you show up as the real you, you become comfortable in your own skin. You don't have to put more effort. You don't have to put too much effort. So therefore, you don't have the risk of burnout. You don't have the risk of burnout. You don't have the risk of anxiety or anything. Right? Why? Because you are now operating from a place of love, of authenticity. I'm sorry. You're operating from a place of authenticity. Give me one moment, people. You're operating from a place of authenticity. But when you continue to perform, what happens to you is that you now begin to deplete because you are constantly bracing up for something that you are not. So you keep walking and walking and walking when you don't need to do too much, Because if you're operating from a place of authenticity, you are operating from you, your core, your center, the real you. So what has this armor of you pretending to be something else? What does it cost you? It will cost you those parts of yourself that you have tucked away because you were too soft. You were believing that you were too soft for the world. The world has told you that your softness was a liability, right? But the truth is, the weight of that fake persona is a far greater burden. You being fake is a far greater burden. So why don't you just be yourself? Because there's power in you having a gentle heart. There's power in your softness. Your softness is not a flaw. Now let's talk about what happens when you dare to set that fakeness aside. When you dare to say, I am not wearing this armor of hardness. What if we look at softness in a completely new light? What if we understand it's not as being fragile, but it is a deep form of courage to come out as who you really are? Okay? As I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking with myself. True softness is not weakness. Neither is it about being a doormat. Or is it about you having no boundaries? No. Some people say I'm soft. So because they are soft, they will allow anything. They will allow anybody. They will allow anybody do anything. No. Softness is not weakness. My friends, softness is the ability for you to open up to the world without a shield, without an armor. It is a strength that is so guarded in itself that it doesn't need to prove anything. You are so grounded, you are so comfortable in yourself that you don't need to prove anything to anybody. Think of water. Water is one of the softest things there is. Yet it can carve canyons. Is it canyons? It can carve them through solid rock over time. It doesn't use brute force. It just yields. It just flows. It persists. That is the nature of your softness, my sister. It's quiet, resilience, presence. Okay? The power of water is what I call quiet resilience presence that can transform anything it touches. So that is where your power, your real power lies. And your real power shows up in a lot of incredible ways. One way your softness will show up is that it becomes a source of deep connections. See, your empathy, your ability to feel with and feel for other people is not a burden, it's a bridge. It lets you build relationships based on trust. It lets you build relationships based on understanding and real care. And you see, in this world where we all are starving for genuine connection, your ability to listen with compassion is a revolutionary act. See, my sister, when you are able to sit down and listen to people with compassion and act from a place of empathy, healing happens in the community. And your gentle, soft nature would help communities grow, right? There is power in your softness. Your softness is the foundation of true resilience. The truth is, we've been lied to. We've been fed lies about what resilience really looks like. that it means being unbreakable. But that's not really how it works. True resilience isn't about never falling down. No, it's about having the courage to be vulnerable, to feel your own pain, and to ask for help. It's the willingness to be seen in your imperfection. And when you are seen in your imperfection, it builds real emotional strength. When you let yourself be soft, you give yourself permission to rest. You give yourself permission to receive care. You give yourself permission to recover, which is a much more sustainable way to live than pretending that you don't need anyone. My sister, you need somebody in your life. You need a center. It is that your same softness that gives you the power, or let me say the gift of powerful intuition, where you are not using all your energy to keep a defensive wall. You become incredibly attuned to the world around you. And not only that, to the world inside you. You begin to notice the things that other people miss. You can sense when somebody's energy is not right. You can sense, you notice those subtle things other people would miss. You can sense when the situation is not right or when a person isn't safe. Now, I would say that this isn't just a feeling. It's a form of deep intelligence, friends. And then you begin to trust yourself, or you begin to trust the inner wisdom. Because trusting that inner wisdom within you is one of the most powerful things that you can ever do for yourself. I repeat, your softness is not a flaw. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a finely tuned guidance system, my sister. So let that your softness guide you. Let it help you to grow, to get that direction. So how do we start? How do we begin to trust this power inside us? Especially when we have been taught to fear the power inside us. The answer is you need to start gently. You don't have to throw your armor away all at once. No, you can start by taking them off one by one and taking a breath. And I'm going to share with you a few ways to begin. One, you need to redefine strength by setting boundaries. That's one of the biggest myths. You know, soft people have people pleasers. They don't have backbones. No, that's the opposite. The opposite is that strong people, soft people should not be people pleasers, and they must have backbone. True softness takes incredible strength. And a huge part of that is setting boundaries with grace. So first things first, you must begin to set good boundaries. A boundary is not a wall to keep people out. It's a clear line that you draw just to protect your peace. That boundary is the gentle but firm power of saying no to things that drain you. So you can say yes to your own well-being. Honoring your needs is not selfish. It is essential. Okay? The next thing that I would say we should do is we need to practice self-compassion. For many of us, our inner critic is the harshest voice we'll ever know. But when you practice self-compassion, that is the antidote. It is you choosing to treat yourself with the same kindness that you give to a friend who is struggling. So the next time, my brothers and sisters, that you feel overwhelmed or you think you've messed up, just pause. Pause. Calm down. Place a hat on your chest. Take a slow breath and ask yourself, what would kindness look like for me right now? Oh, Kindness will look like a cup of coffee. Maybe kindness will look like a 5-minute silence. Maybe it's just you forgiving yourself. Another way is to allow yourself receive. Many of us are used to being givers. You give, 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 give. You are the giver, you are the caretaker. It can be really vulnerable to be the one who needs support. But receiving is not passive. When you put yourself in a position to receive, it means it speaks that, or let me put it, it's a courageous act of you opening up. Is you trusting somebody enough to let them see your needs. With that, I say you need to reach out to people that you trust. Share what you're really feeling with those who have earned the right to hear it, because it's not everybody you tell things. Your worth isn't measured by how much you can carry everything by yourself. You're not superwoman, no. And you shouldn't be, okay? A lot of times you'll be like, I'm every woman. It's all in me. Yeah, you're superwoman. You're this. Your flaw, your softness is not a flaw, my people. It is not a flaw and should not be a flaw. That is your strength. That is your strength, my sisters. That's your strength. Okay? Follow it and you'll see how you flourish in your feminine energy. So your healing journey is really a journey back to yourself. It's a journey of you coming back to yourself. It's a process of unlearning the world's harsh lessons. So as we go in a healing journey, we need to learn, unlearn, and process everything to remember who we really are. Your softness, I repeat, is not a flaw to be fixed or a weakness to be overcome. No. It's the truest expression of your feminine strength. The kind that heals, the kind that builds bridges, the kind that creates a more compassionate world. It's your power. It's your gift. I repeat, it's your power, is your gift. You don't have to prove your worth by carrying your pain in silence. No. Sis, you are allowed to be messy. You are allowed to be tender and strong, all at the same time. See, embracing this truth isn't just an act of self-love. It is a quiet revolution. I repeat, it is a quiet revolution. And see, this journey is often personal. You have to do it by yourself. It doesn't have to be lonely, right? It is personal, but not lonely. So if this message resonated with you, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's create a space where softness is celebrated for the profound strength that it really is. And if you like more content that honor the journey of your healing or the journey of you being your authentic self, consider subscribing. Subscription is free. You're welcome here. Remember, in a world that demands you to be hard, choose to remain choose to remain soft. And choosing to remain soft is a courageous and beautiful thing. Thank you guys for being here. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye.